What does the accounting firm of the future look like? Might not look like the firm you grew up in, might not be anything close to the firm you're in right now. It may be. Accounting changes slowly. For the profession as a whole, the model is transforming. I'm a big ambassador of the brand of accounting, and there are really good advocates out there. The accounting of the future is not just a technician, they're a strategist, they're a storyteller, they're a technologist, they are a trusted guide. The future firm's going to be lean. It might be big, but it will still be lean. Global economic pressures are accelerating all of this. Firms in the US, the UK, Australia, and beyond are bracing for recession signals. Even the strong firms are tightening up, not because they're failing, but they know that resilience now and competitive advantage now means smaller, faster, smarter. Over 61% of accountants now view AI as essential for operational efficiency. What does the accounting firm of the future look like? It might not look like the firm you grew up in, might not be anything close to the firm you're in right now. It may be. Accounting changes slowly. Double entry bookkeeping has been as it is for thousands of years, and we know how glacial change can be, but there are huge disruptors out there, and it is changing. Smaller headcounts probably, modular teams, I'll come back to that, fewer layers, less paperwork, more automation, clients that won't be asking you who's doing the work, but how fast it's going to be, how accurate it's going to be, how strategic it's going to be. The accounting firm of the future is already being built. And the only question is whether you're going to have a place in it. Now, depending on how old you are and how relevant you want to be, this is what we're speaking about. You listen to the Accounting Influencers podcast. I'm your host, Rob Brown. This is episode 5 in a series we've been doing on the broken career ladder in accounting. Now, that's not clickbait or anything like that. I am being slightly dramatic, but we know the game is changing. And this episode is the last one in this series. We're going to bring it all together, but let's give you a little bit of context. In episode 1, I looked at the collapse of entry level and how graduate recruitment's going down. The opportunities for getting that foothold in the accounting ladder are falling. So that's the entry level, the bottom of the pyramid. Then I talked about episode 2, the hollowing out of the middle level, and how there's a lot of quiet quitting and silent layoffs and less relevance as a lot of that stuff's being AI and automated, and private equity squeezing it, and offshoring, outsourcing's taking place. So that's the hollowing out of the middle level. In episode 3, I looked at the fading influence of people at the top and how they are struggling to maintain their foothold and their gravitas, their authority, their voice in the firm. Episode 4, I looked at the morale of it and generally the rising silent firing and how people are feeling like they've got less traction in the firm and they're falling backwards and falling out of favor. Loads of things happening. So in this last one, I want to look at the way forward. What does the future firm look like, and what will it take to stay relevant inside that firm and have a say in what that firm looks like, whether it's your firm or you're working for the man for somebody else. So let's start with firm structure, business models. The future firm is going to be lean. Now, it might be big, but it will still be lean. Global economic pressures are accelerating all of this. Firms in the US, the UK, Australia, and beyond are bracing for recession signals, inflation volatility, whether it's Trump's tariffs or government debt, all kinds of things are in play. Slower deal pipelines, more discerning buyers of accounting services. Even the strong firms are tightening up not because they're failing, but they know that resilience now and competitive advantage now means smaller, faster, smarter, and work that used to need 10 people now needs 3. So what does that say about leaner firms? And the work's not disappearing. Accounting firms are busier than ever, but automation, AI, outsourcing has eaten into the repetition, the grind, those lower level tasks. Over 61% of accountants now view AI as essential for operational efficiency. Platforms like Xero, QuickBooks, Dext, even ChatGPT, they're handling all the data entry, the tax compliance, the audit prep. A lot of the heavy lifting of the accounting role has now been taken up with technology. Cloud-based tools are now the default. They now allow real-time collaboration, remote, real-time, immediate access, enhanced security. Even though some firms and some individuals are not in the cloud yet, 1/3 of accountants still don't automate a bank feed, but it's here. And if you're not digitized, then that's a red flag for relevance. Blockchain, we've heard a lot about it in the past. Some of us get it, some of us don't, but it is adding transparency and efficiency to audit. Machine learning drives the predictive analysis, fraud detection, reporting, future thinking that accountants need to be offering clients to stay relevant. All of this is in play. Firms are going to be flatter, fewer layers between clients and the insight that you provide. Partners are going to be, they'll have to be visible, they'll have to be available, they'll have to be collaborative, or they're going to get replaced. And that's people at all levels, to be honest. We know that revenue models are going to change and more subscription-based services. Ron Baker, Ed Kless, and others have been talking about this move for many years now. Less hourly billing, less timesheets, more advisory, more project-based pricing, less compliance. CAS, you might wrap this all up in CAS. Client advisory services grew by 17% in 2023. That's 2 years ago, 2023. They're going to rise to 99% in growth by 2020, by the end of this year. 83% of firms are expanding their advisory offerings. Some firms have already got there, so they don't need to expand. They were built as advisory firms, and good luck to them. Very foresighted of them. Compliance work is shrinking. It's not dying, but it is shrinking. And strategy and insight are the new front doors. They're the ways in, they're the ways around. Teams are going to be modular. I mentioned that earlier. What this means, and I had to think about this a little bit. Freelancers, offshore teams, project-based talent will be standard. Do you remember how they used to work in Hollywood? And actually, that's an aside. Hollywood's dying as the film capital of the world. It used to have a film, a project, a series, and you'd bring people together for that project. You'd bring in all the camera work and the editing and the makeup and everything else, and then they'd all disappear again. And that's that modular, bringing teams in for specific tasks. So these freelancers, offshore teams, project-based talent, that's going to be standard. So will remote work and hybrid work. That was all recalibrated last year and this year, and there is no going back. Firms, and I've done this on previous episodes, firms that demand return to work, return to office, they're always going to struggle for the best talent. They're always going to struggle to retain talent. So that's going to become the norm, hybrid work. The future firm is going to be built on access to a global workforce, not just on headcount that are willing to come in the office and live close within a commute of your offices, wherever they are. The reward system in the firm of the future is going to change too. Influence will matter more than tenure. Technological skills will matter more than experience. Visibility will become a metric. How vocal and visible are you in the firm? How much weight do you bring to the brand? Business development, rainmaking is no longer going to be optional. You'll need to be able to create opportunities and bring new work into your firm. That's going to make you indispensable. And if you can't do that, if you're just going to sit back and wait for other people to go out, kill it, bring it in, that puts you at risk. Strategic thinkers who can interpret data and lead conversations, they're going to be promotable, they're going to be valuable. Now, AI can do that to an extent, but the complexities, the sensitivities, the human element of that, managing complex teams, messy situations, that leans itself to critical and strategic thinking. If you're not developing those skills, you're going to find yourself marginalized, and firms will lean into that. And all of this has been driven by hard numbers. I saw that the annual global accounting market is now worth $735 billion. The AI, the artificial intelligence in accounting market alone is projected to hit $37 billion by 2030. That's the AI accounting market. So we've got 700 odd billion of the accounting market, but you're looking at 5% of that's going to be AI driven. It's going to be more, obviously, but that's what it's saying now. Another trend, you'll have heard me say this, and you can find it online yourself. 75% of CPAs, chartered accountants, are set to retire within the next 10 years. They're close. A lot of them are going now. Unemployment in accounting is at 2%. Whoever thought there'd be unemployment in accounting? But we've hit that in previous episodes of this show. There is a pressure to retain and attract new good talent. That's real, but the paradox and the tension is firms are actively laying off staff. We know that. They're freezing entry-level hiring. They're flattening structures, but they're also facing a looming demographic cliff. 3 out of 4 CPAs, 75%, are expected to retire in the next decade. What's that going to do to firms? Where will all that knowledge go? The profession's heading into a period where the demand for talent is going to skyrocket, but supply is still going to remain tight. So accounting firms are already trying to cut costs, particularly if private equity is involved. You know what they're like, strip out the cost. But they know that failing to invest in talent today is going to create some kind of vacuum tomorrow. So there's going to be a war on for talent, yes, but good talent and talent that can deal with the new world that's coming up. And that's why we're already seeing layoffs at firms and streamlining in the short term while quietly scrambling to retain the high performers, to retain those that have relevance and a contribution to make in the new world, and investing in upskilling, repositioning yourself as an attractive workplace, as an attractive employee for the next generation of professionals and clients. That's going to be your path to staying in the game, or at least having a career on your terms. These tensions are real. We get that. Firms are trimming to survive right now, but they're already strategizing to compete for people down the line. So what does this mean for you? We always give practical application on this show, the Accounting Influencers podcast. And I'm a practical person. I'm Rob Brown, former high school math teacher. I said this so many times. And I'm a part qualified accountant, but I'm always looking for ways to apply this for you as your host. So if you're mid-career, stop being a generalist, start to own a niche, get yourself known, build your own gravitas, build your own personal brand. Thought leadership is becoming less and less optional. You've got to be seen inside and outside the firm, and visibility protects your relevance. It is the strategy for survival. So get a grip on that. Find ways to get stuff out there. It doesn't matter if it's seen by millions or has a ton of likes. People will see it. They just won't necessarily engage, but they'll see it, and it builds your personal brand. If you're a senior leader, your role is not to coast and stay comfortable in your tenure because you're going to still need to guide and mentor and speak and engage and challenge and push. And the market doesn't owe you respect. You've got to keep earning this every day. You've got to keep staying relevant every day. You need to earn it all over again. You need to stay true to the technology all over again. You've got to keep learning and acquiring new skills. For firms as a whole, the playbook is clear. Build leaner, build smarter, build around your best people, activate top talent, activate hidden talent, look for the gems in your people and develop them now. Dig your well before you're thirsty. I've said that before. Expand your advisory services. That's where the margins will be. Stop managing for the past. Stop delivering stuff for your clients that is based in the past, and start preparing for the next chapter. 2030 is less than 5 years away, but it's going to be a whole different game by then. For the profession as a whole, the model is transforming. I'm a big ambassador of the brand of accounting, and there are really good advocates out there in professional societies, state bodies, governing bodies, associations, lots of good people out there who are championing for the brand. We can all tell a better story, but the model of accounting is transforming. The accountant of the future is not just a technician. They're a strategist, they're a storyteller, they're a technologist, they are a trusted guide. And that's the profession. For you as an individual, your equation is simple. Influence, adaptability, visibility, technological toolkit, business winning, opportunity creating, innovating. These are your toolkits for the now and for the future. And this is what this podcast helps you with. So stay tuned. I work with firms and professionals to increase that reach, sharpen your value, amplify your personal brand, help you grow your voice, whether it's branding or content or messaging or positioning. The goal's always the same, to make yourself matter. So whether I'm helping you do that, I interview people every month to create video snippets and thought leadership for them in a conversational way that brings out their personality. You've got to make yourself matter. You've got to make yourself count. You've got to make yourself relevant. This has been one of the most important series I've done. A 5-part journey, entry level, mid-level, partners, the morale, and then the future. And we're looking at the structural shifts through accounting with the entry-level collapse, the middle-level layoffs, the senior-level drift, the silent firing, the undermining of morale, the look for meaning and purpose, and now the firm of the future. Exciting times, challenging times. You adapting and being agile is not optional anymore as a firm or as an individual. It is the baseline. It is what keeps you in the game. But the opportunities are still there for those who can see where this is going and act before it's too late to stay in the game. Thanks for joining me on this series. I am Rob Brown, host of the Accounting Influencers podcast. If you're willing to move forward, build your influence, or future-proof your career, and want some help, reach out to me on LinkedIn. We enjoy helping people like you to stay valuable and relevant in a fast-changing world. Have a great day, and thanks for joining us on this series.